Howdy, everyone. Welcome
Yo.
to week 2 of the NRL season. I'm joined by SuperCoach Late Mail as usual. Mate, Reese, how we doing?
Happy Wednesday, Cheese. Happy Wednesday, viewers. Happy Rugby League to the viewers and happy Rugby League to all of your families. Cheese, I'm doing well. We thought the tinkering would have stopped by now, right? But, I look over to my right, I realize it's the 12th of March, and I'm confronted with a spreadsheet that has more names on it than ever before, and I have more questions than answers right now. How good is it to be back?
Oh, mate, the spreadsheets are just filling up, aren't they? It's just a spreadsheet for everything we can imagine. How good is it, eh? But, mate, a full weekend of footy this week. Oh, come on.
All 8 games. All 8 games in Oz, baby.
All 8 games. Like, isn't it great? Like, Monday we get to see our rankings. Tuesdays we get team lists. Wednesdays we're on a potty talking crap about footy. And then it's footy the rest of the week. Like, we're living life.
No work gets done.
Nah. Sorry, boss.
And I'll tell you what, where round 1 was the round of the humping. And then we saw 2 teams get eliminated from premiership contention, including my Roosters, which was a brutal watch, aside from Robert Toya's heroics, which we can get into. But Absolutely. I'll tell you what, fading watch is on again this week, especially on Friday night when you got Manly playing the Wars. It is in New Zealand, admittedly. And then you have Penrith, who are $1.06. Is that Maccabi Deba or the Penrith Panthers playing the Sydney Roosters?
$1.06
this weekend. They're $1.06, mate.
There's some value.
Yeah, I remember. Wasn't there a game like last year where they were like $1.04 against West, or was it 2 years ago? And I think
2 years ago.
It was out in Bathurst, maybe on a really wet day. And Dane Laurie led them.
Yes. 2 years ago. Yes. And we found out that Panthers cannot play in the wet apparently because that was a lovely day, wasn't it? Eh? For anyone who jumped on the Tigers.
So as a result, let it rain, baby, let it rain in Parramatta because that's reeks of an ambush, and Cleary as a captaincy is a trap as a result.
Oh, don't say that, mate. I've just got him in. Moved heaven and earth. He's petrified me.
You did.
I did. In fact, anyone in the chat, they know I've moved heaven and earth.
Do you feel better about yourself now?
Yeah, I've actually been able to sleep the last 2 nights. I've been able to sleep. Haven't had any panic attacks at work and going, oh no, he's big bad man's coming out this week.
That's good. I actually had a weird panic attack at 4 a.m. this morning, actually, and that got me out of bed, and I checked a draft waiver. A draft which I've only just joined this year. It wasn't really too familiar with the concept, but Destiny would have it that I was up at 4, and I made the game-breaking decision of changing Jack DeBellin for Toby Couchman. So make it that what you will, guys.
I mean, only good decisions happen at 4 a.m. depending on the 4 a.m. you're talking about. But look, first round, high scoring, mate. I think we thought with the flex, obviously, it'd be a bit more high scoring. You drop out for lower score, but I mean, the CTWs, they showed up. The cheapies all showed up. So anyone who was like, yep, great, we'll play them, benefited, obviously. I can't remember a round that has been, I won't say, safe, but I would just say where I've gone, I don't really have to make a trade if I didn't want to. Like, all the guys I needed showed up. Were you looking at this the same where you just go, yeah, great, easy money come Tuesday?
Well, yeah, like it was a high point scoring round, at least relative to my own personal scoring last season. I'll read this out for you. In round 1 last year, 962, and then round 2, 890. I was ranked 53,000th after 2 rounds. Fought my way back, didn't leave the top 1,000 after round 8. Those 1,200s weren't even in there on the horizon.
It went for a long time. I didn't get 1,200 until round 6. Last year.
Unbelievable. Hey, well, again, that's what happens when there's humpings on the field. It generally correlates to SuperCoach scores. And geez, how happy would you have been if you had a little piece of Melbourne on that Sunday? Although I dare say, if you had Pappy, if you had Howarth, you're probably not coming to work on Monday. You're probably kicking on for Amy Park afters, aren't you?
I mean, how good was it? We saw Pappy come back last year and he had his moments and stuff like that, but geez, he looked just confident again. He didn't look like he didn't want to be involved. It was good. they had a play midway, midfield, and Pappy just dummy, put the head down, ran. It was like a grand final all over again. He's back, man. Fucking Munster looks dangerous.
Yeah. Look,
he's a bargain.
Who didn't look dangerous against that pitiful
Harry Grant?
Yeah.
You'd be fuming if you have Harry Grant because you thought he'd go massive in that.
Well, this is just a theory. It's not proven by any data, but too many chefs in the kitchen at Melbourne. Maybe you got Munster, you got Grant, you got Pappy, you got Hughes. One of them is always going to miss out every week, right? Like not based on
it'd be too
other
hard.
than
No, you're right, though. Like, look, the way they played, and it's the first time we've really seen that spine together with a full preseason for a while.
Yeah,
off the top of my head, like. It's been a long time since we've seen it, and it's good for rugby league. It's great for rugby league with them all being back. But like when you think of Hughes, Munster, and Pappy, that's who you're thinking is going to take the reins of the team. And Harry's just basically going to get told, mate, just run when you want. Like the dangerous thing is him getting that running license to go whenever he wants because he knows Pappy, Munster, and Hughes can just go, yeah, great, we'll take over. Like he doesn't need to orchestrate anything anymore.
Absolutely not, especially when the edges are falling off tackles like they're being paid to do so. There's some
that helps.
Terrible. Well, we can have a look at a little bit of footage a bit later if YouTube doesn't want to kick us off again.
So we'll get the phone out.
Yeah. Shadow ban uprising. But yeah, it wasn't great for Para, was it? Interesting point regarding the full preseason. Pappy, was he injured going into last year? I can't quite recall.
No, I think he was just getting back into that fitness because we saw him play. It's just I don't think we've seen him get through unscathed, really.
Right.
I think Munster had a little bit of a up and down preseason, but he's still Munster. I don't know if you'd agree, but I think he's really going into that field general off the field type of role now. He's really running the boys around it. A lot of behind the scenes stuff we're seeing, at least, is him controlling and just being that locker room leader a lot more nowadays that you would have seen from a Billy or a Crunk in the old days. So he still had his hand in a lot of things, and it's just you can see the way that they play. Obviously, they did smash Parrot, and it helps, but there wasn't a second aside from the last 20 minutes where they didn't look confident in their ability. Everyone just backed each other. It was great.
They were doing what they wanted, mate. It was unbelievable to watch.
Mate, that Penrith and Storm, I believe it's next week. That's going to be an absolute cracker. That will be freaking phenomenal. I can't wait for that. But interesting with Eels, we know they perform poorly. Riles comes out and swings the axe immediately. Yeah,
swings his big hog.
Yeah, I mean, guys, that was awful. We'd probably see 6 more weeks and then you go, all right, you're on the bench. But with Riles, I mean, it's a bit concerning if you own a Taulagi or even, any one of those para middles aside from Hopgood because you're going, who's going to be next?
Yeah, they play the Magpies in New South Wales Cup this week, Parramatta, and you've got a forward pack of Madison, Lussick, Wiramu, Greg, Cartwright, the ghost of Kelma Tuolangi, and Charlie Geimer. That's their forward pack in New South Wales Cup.
Actually, that's awful, mate.
Yeah.
Great. They're shooing for New South Wales Cup premiership, maybe, but
hey, you got to win something. Hey, did you don't have Hopgood, right? If you don't, if you do or you don't, thoughts? We might have a few viewers tuning in who do own him, including myself. What advice would you give to us? Would you say sit back and panic? He got 60 odd in base in.
You sit back. I mean, they got absolutely hammered. I mean, I only was for shining line. We'll touch on him later, I'm sure of it. But what more could Hopgood really do aside from just get the base points? And he came out, he did it. You stick by him. They're not gonna play with Storm every week. We know that. And look, it's probably going to be a rough few weeks without Moses. But as soon as Moses is back, that team probably drops up a few rankings. And you wish you'd keep Hopgood. Why waste the trade if you're just gonna? I can't see him losing enough cash to make it worth it. Do you?
Absolutely not. I'd go as far as saying anyone in your team who's 600K and above, you got to back your preseason research, guys. You got to hold on to him. they will come good. You can make the same kind of sentiment for Jacob Preston, who, again, if these guys can do 50 on a shit day, a shit day, that's kind of what you're paying for. If that makes sense.
Well, yeah, it is. Like they're these 60K guys. If they're getting a 50 in base, you're cheering because that's what you're paying for because the attacking stats will come. It's not going to come in a thumping like that. Like it just can't.
No. And the same goes for like your Connor Watsons of the world, who still pumped out a 55 and a team that got 50 put on it. Seeing a lot of kind of people wanting to trade those kind of dudes out for your Haas's. And don't get me wrong, Haas is an option. He's probably skyrocketed to almost the top of my target list actually after that. We even spoke about it on Friday night, didn't we, Cheese, that he was just on an absolute rampage for 49 minutes. 49 minutes is all he needed. God knows what's going to happen if he does that for 60 minutes, but bottom line is like don't get too reactive with these 600K plus guys. They will come good. The only reason you really trade them out is if they're injured.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing too, isn't it? Like we said on your pod, I mean, if you're looking to trade, you're looking to get in one of these big guns. You're trying to make a big move. You're not wanting to, 600K guy to another 600K guy. Like there's really no point of it until next week, and what role they've got, and they're going to make cash or they're going to lose it. Like the thing that scared me with Haas was the way that they used him. Like less minutes played, obviously, but they attacked the edges, and we'll touch on Ola a little bit later because that's something. Realm, Rugby League Realm, big guy, big fan. We love the Realm over here. He pointed out to me, and he went, the way they're using Ola is just, it's very edge running, it's very targeted. It's what we saw from Haas. So, yeah, look, hold your 600K guys back for the research you did, back whoever you listen to, and then blame them after. I mean, we all know how it goes.
It's not your fault either way.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you can't blame anyone, just send a DM to the player.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Unless they've got their notifications on D&D.
Just on Olakau'atu.
Yeah.
Running wide of the ruck, Garrick underline. Do you want to see a quick little clip before we get into TLT?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Right.
Warm us up.
Guys, I'm going to put the microphone down. Here we go. I'll let Cheese break down what we're saying here, ladies and gentlemen. Mostly gentlemen.
I haven't seen any clips today, so this will be fun.
Okay. So just in terms of where the ball is starting, where are we there, Cheese?
So we're roughly in the middle, a little closer to the near post. You could say either post is near post, but we'll say right side's near post, so we're a little closer to that. About 15, 16 meters, so you're looking at usually a one lead play and then out the back.
And you got Gerbo there with Cherry Evans kind of out the back of him.
Yeah, Cherry's not really playing hidden. He's more just being on the outside, so he's got time to then use his options. Who's that playing second hour? Is that Sipley or Paseka? That's not Hamole, is it?
You're about to see what Hamole does.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There he is, dude.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about.
How wide he was.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. And that's what Realm pointed out to me. Thank you, Realm. Like, mate, I don't know about you, but it's something we're seeing a lot more with teams. They're using their big forwards out on the edges now, and it's about damn time because look at that. Especially when you got someone like Guok who's just that fast. I mean, let's be real. Cherry Evans does absolutely nothing on that play. Goes to a line and passes. He doesn't really engage. He never looks dangerous with it. Maybe a little hip swivel to keep Moali on him, but again, I don't think Cherry is ever going to go through that hole. Like,
Cherry Evans throws a lovely little, like, kind of wandy looking dummy to Garrick, who runs a really nice unders line there.
It's a very it's a very early dummy too. Like, it's very early, just so Ola knows he's getting it.
And then Purdue 1-on-1 with Olakau'atu, like, forget it. I mean, and we'll move into it a bit later, but that left side of the Cowboys was too small for Manly, and God knows what Nikora, Ramey, and Stone Street are going to do to them this week.
It'll be like comparing Nikora and Ola. It'll be interesting. Like when I look at Nikora, he's a very more versatile runner. He prefers the lines. I mean, like if you've got Ola on your team, like this is what you run. You,
How
there's
wide
not
he is,
many
man.
centers stopping that at all.
No, no way. He's got a head of
Like, don't get
steam
me wrong,
space.
it's a terrible read by Purdue. I don't know what he's thinking of that. Like, he's literally marked. He backtracks.
Yeah.
No idea, mate. No idea. And I'll bring this up here too, because this is absolutely pinpoint by Realmy here. This is what the dogs use with kick out.
Yeah.
It's exactly how they run it here. The thing is, though, Manly can run it 100 times better because Ola is just so much more dangerous with his hips. It's crazy. Teams are running it more and more now. It's about damn time.
You want to see a variation of the same move 3 minutes later?
Yeah, please do.
Here we go. So, again, midfield, Cherry Evans, Olakawatu gets it, turbo tip on Sarban marked. Yeah. Sorry, the resolution's a bit shit. But same kind of thing. Like, Garrick runs that same line, turbo swings around the back, and then provides one of the most subtle touch on try assists of all time, just showing his class.
I mean, I wondered how he did it when I saw it live. Like, it's pretty crazy the fact he got far off without being deflected. Like, especially the way that, I don't know who the defender is there. Is that Talangi or
Burns? Oh, no, it's Talangi. Sorry. It is Talangi,
yeah. Because Talangi turns in to try and get that deflection as he hits. Turbo just gets a miraculous pass. That's amazing. But Ola here as second receiver, it's just...
Yeah, scary, isn't it? Like, it just shows how
good... one-on-one, he goes through.
Last week we looked at Penrith's variation off kind of the same points on the field. The fact that Manly have this, well, it's just good coaching first and foremost, but anytime you see teams throwing different looks from the same position on the field, guys, they're a top 4 contender.
Yeah. But see, what's dangerous about this is they've worked with Ola in the preseason and gone, are you comfortable with throwing a pass out the back? And he's gone, yeah, sure, we can work on it. And, like, look, if you put Ola up against let's say the Titans, for example, because that would be a big game, in my opinion, if they keep this same shape. Him against Campbell. I mean, mate, it's just going to be it's going to be a worse nightmare for Campbell.
Well, you already saw him run over the top of Dearden like he was speed
Dearden's no slouch in defender either.
Exactly. Exactly.
Dearden's not a great defender, but he's a very body in front. He's got good form to it. Like, I think, Realm puts it perfectly. Like, the dogs, and that's how they use kick out. We've seen it. Teams must have been doing video footage on the dogs to see how they improved last year, because now we saw it with Haas and we've seen it with Ola this week. Two of probably the most dominant run-ins in the game because of how dangerous they are with the versatility they could use. Haas is getting used on edges against, 5/8 and halfbacks now, which is odd for a front row forward to venture out that far. Because then you've got to figure out where you put your second row forward in. That's the tough part. It's like, does he stay out there? Is he a waste of space? Where do you use him in that scenario? Ola is now going, great, use me as a sweeper, like a fullback, get me one-on-one. And he's got the speed, which is scary.
What are the SuperCoach implications for that, Cheats? Because, we already kind of spoke about your Hopgoods of the world who are kind of through the guts. They'll give you 1.1 ppm. But are you suggesting that based on, the Dogs' blueprint or Penrith and how they use kick out, as Realm said, that these edge guys, such as, your Olakawatus or even like your Fafitas, your Eli Katoas, they're going to be higher ceiling? Well, I think that's probably answering my own question there. They are, obviously, but would they be...
Look, the biggest thing is we saw last year, Ola, great player, great person to have a SuperCoach, but there were games where he didn't do much. And people like that, they do have games. Like, we've seen him with Fafita. He doesn't do much. I mean, he picks up a dummy half try and he saves it for him. It's more of a fact now that it's basically DCE just saying, hey, great, we're going to use you this play. Hey, great, we're going to use you again the next play. It's more of a fact now he's being forced to get involved and not having to worry about just one off a ruck or do that lead run and go off back. It's scary because of how much more involvement he's going to have this year.
Yeah, well, especially given the guys inside of him, such as Cherry Evans, who's only played 340 first grade games as well. And then Turbo out the back, who's got gravity. Garrett can run a lovely line, as we saw in those two clips. He didn't even touch the ball in those two clips, Garrett, but had a big part in the tries, and he got his reward in the second half. How good was that as a Garrick owner? Just see him fall over the line, do nothing, and get 88.
Yeah, no, it was actually pretty good. Actually, that's the thing with Garrick too, isn't it? If Manly are doing good, Garrick does good. It's just automatic. But
absolutely.
The thing in that clip too that I've noticed with the Knights and the Broncos mainly too now, so we're giving a lot more space in backline plays to that sweeper. I'm noticing. Usually, you get them 5 minutes out, 10-meter corridor with 2 to 3 steps to a defender, just to really try and make the defender jam. Now we're seeing a lot more teams go, no, we're going to start asking more questions on that sweeper play instead, and say, we'll give you 5 to 8 steps, like we saw in that Walsh play in the preseason. You give them extra steps, and you demand what the defense is going to do. You ask that question now instead of going, great, he's shooting up, I pass. He's not shooting up, I go. You control what the defender does now. It's interesting how a lot of teams are changing after last season.
Why do you think they're doing that, Chase?
Honestly, I think it's the NRL ruling, mainly because one is the blocks and the obstruction rule. Teams want to minimize the idea of going, oh, hey, great guys, we'll go a close to hidden block and we'll hope that you catch on the outside and nothing happens. Obviously, we've seen that rule, change, but a lot of teams don't want to take that risk anymore anyway. So it's good to see that. But the other thing is too, you don't want to give. We saw it last year with Walsh when he got knocked out because he caught the ball. I think it was May. May shoots up, head clash. There's no time for Walsh to do anything in that scenario. It's really just a catch and pass. Great for SuperCoach, but then you run that risk of putting your fullback in an injury and a hospital pass. You give him that extra movement, especially players like Turbo, Walsh, and KP, and you go, great. You've got extra time. You can choose. We don't have to worry about you getting that hospital ball, and you ask a question now. It's good on all types of levels for teams, especially on a safety standpoint.
I have a clip here for you as well that is probably more of that in that Walsh mold where the defender jams in and puts a shot on. The fullback's actually the hammer. And watch his lovely hands here out to Osako. So if I go to the start of the clip.
That's that long ball, isn't it? That was nice.
Oh, shit. Sorry, mate. Cancel. Okay, bear with this, guys. Do. All right, here we go. It's going to come back, don't worry.
Yeah.
Notice the gravity from Herbie there. You got Souths kind of all on different pages. I think that's Arrow hanging back. You got Cody hanging back. Then you got the centers shooting out. I don't think I've seen the hammer do that much.
No, that's what surprised me. Like, it's just, he's not one to really look for long ball, especially going left to right. It's not one you really see from. We've seen him do right to left every now and again when it's a safe one. But that's what I'm talking about. See, he just gets that extra bit more steps to really decide what he wants to do there. Like, he could have hit Herbie for all, he could have hit Herbie for all money, but because he gets the extra few steps, he gets more power into that pass to really get it through to him.
You're right. It isn't. Sorry. I take back what I said before. It isn't just your catch on. He does kind of straighten a little bit, get Cody a little bit interested, keeps Cody on his feet a little bit more, and then it's automatic off the back.
He's not really interested to start at all. He's more hedging his bets, and then he's going, oh, okay, I've got to move in on him. Like, when does...
That's massive for a Sarko.
It was a great read too by Hammer as well, because if he goes short, Herbie's 101, but he's just gone, I think he's coming in, so we go with long ball. Like, there's no indication there as to why he would have done that. Just instinct.
That's beautiful, isn't it? And again, like, Herbie's such a good carry that the defender's going to be interested in Herbie. I mean, you can't let him he'll go over one-on-one from 15 meters out.
Yeah, exactly. And look, centers aren't exactly a massive part in SuperCoach at times. Like, we've got Herbie and we've got Garrick, but man, they're playing a lot bigger role now in games, purely footy related and play wise, because we're seeing more centers become just more valuable. And I think what we'll see, again, this is long in the future though, but probably within the next year to 2 years with Toa specifically, he's going to be such a threat of center that it's going to intrigue people. It's good to see.
Tell you what, just looking at that clip and just imagining what Osako is going to do to Marju this week.
Marju likes to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. They've already seen the hammer kind of lay on one of the silkiest left to right you'll ever see.
It's going to be shot for shot, I reckon, to be honest. Like, they've both, like, you messaged me about Herbie. He didn't have some of the best reads that game. It's looking like it's going to be a very shot for shot game, which is, great if you have Asako and Mazu. It's pretty big. But look, let's quickly go through TLT. Was there anything that stood out to you that was, very SuperCoach relevant?
Well, yeah, we'll start at the Dolphins if you want, Cheese. A bit more of a left field rogue one. The reason I bring it up is, there's really no one in front row under 300K that's worth looking at, Royce Hunt included. But one guy that I've been big on for a little while here, his name is Oren Keeley. He's named to start this week in the Dolphins. Reason being, Lemuelu is out for a month, I believe, and then Finafiliaki is out for a week with a knock to his noggin. Just to read you a stat, Oren Keeley in Queensland Cup last year, 16 games, all 80 minutes, average of 73, or approximate average, you can, it's NRL stats. He's not going to get 80 minutes every week, given the depth in their edge rotation, but he's probably good enough to get a bench spot at some point. I mean, if they're trusting him enough to get on to the starting side with his other two guys down, does he hold a bench spot? Does he get 40 off the bench? Time will tell. We can probably wait. We can definitely wait 2 weeks on it, guys, to see. But in a wasteland such as FRF cheapies, he's going to be someone worth looking at. He's a 1 ppm guy through the middle or even on the edge. So keep an eye out for him. I noticed Siwa Wong was named on the edge. Cheese, we won't get into the clips now, but there were some terrible reads by Wong on Thursday night.
2 space cadets, it ain't that right. Like, he look, it's when you see a winger look lost, it's not great, but there's a few factors that go into it. When you see someone in the middle get lost, it's not good at all, mate. Like, it's just, you shouldn't be getting lost in the middle. Your spacings are pretty set. You're 2 to 3 meters. You know that. Every middle knows that. I don't know how he got so lost in that game. Maybe the fatigue got to him. Maybe not enough match fitness, but yeah, mate, he looks pretty bad.
It wasn't good, man. He's named to start this week. You know what? I'll show the clip. I've got it right here for you, Cheese.
Before you do that, mate, I'll just touch on this from DJ from the Bay. Do apologize. Should have mentioned this at the start, but we get a bit nerdy and get straight into it. Yeah, so we are running a cash cow competition going forwards. Basically, you'll hear myself or Reese. We'll have a phrase we're going to say. Okay, no one's going to know what the phrase is. Basically, if you think you know what the phrase is, you go into the SuperCoach Hub Discord. The link is in the description. Go into the general chat for NRL season talk, and you put down what the phrase was. First in, best dress, and $50 to you. And mate, I don't know about you, but $50 is not a bad amount these days. I'll happily take that.
Yeah, you can buy a stick with that.
Buy a stick. You can ice cream from Macca's.
Yeah. Siwa Wong named on the edge. To answer your previous question, what was interesting? This clip here is going to lock in the Cleary captaincy for me, because you can just see him getting the ball where Carrigan gets it here. I'll just hold this up again. Sorry, guys. Just wait for the resolution.
That's the one we were talking about. That's terrible.
Do you want to break this down?
Yeah, well, do you want to pause it just as they catch that ball before that last pass for me?
Yeah.
Because that's a pretty terrible what he does there. Like, perfect. Like, so the thing that happens is he comes up with the line originally, and then he takes a step back. Like, he takes a little hop back for no reason. It's almost as like he's just not confident in his defense for some reason on that play there. But, mate, that gap there. So you should have, essentially, when you're on the line, you should have 2 meter gap, because most of the time teams, if they are going enough back, you've got enough time to shuffle and slide while the ball's in the air. Right. That's what Brad Fittler always used to say at coaching camps and stuff. Balls in the air on the line, that's when you slide. You don't do it any other time. Wong here is just, he's marking no one. Like, he's really marking no one. I don't know if he thought Renault was going to come through in a Billy Slater speed and storm play, but he takes a hop back and he's just lost. He has no idea what he's doing.
And he genuinely gets no contact on anybody, even though the player goes straight past him. He just
stops. He just stops.
He goes forward, takes a crab step back, up, back. Oh man.
Well, you know what? If he doesn't take that hop back, you can probably defend it and go, all right, look, he's probably gone, maybe Carrigan's going to take the run. He doesn't look like he is, but maybe, say, for instance, that's what he thought. If he doesn't take that hop back and just shuffles across to the left, he's done. I don't know what he's done, mate. He's forgot he's in the game.
So, does this mean Yo? Again, we're talking. I mentioned Cleary before, but do you see Yo having an absolute field day through the middle here, targeting?
Let's break into this. Why I think Cleary is just I don't think anyone's really a must-have. Injuries happen, teams are separate. Every team's different. Everyone has their own must-haves. Cleary's probably as close as it can be to a general must-have this week.
Captaincy as well.
Mate, I mean, look, if you bring in Cleary and he only scores 70, you're probably going, okay, cool. He could have scored 270. The reason it's so dangerous. Yeah. The reason it's so dangerous is because we talked about it last week in that Sharks and Panthers game. We've heard it for years. They're very systemic. They're a very system team. They come in, they know their jobs. Now, Cleary, Ponga, players of our archetype, and we saw it with Cleary with that kick to Tonga.
Yep.
They have set plays. We all know every team has a set play, but, Cleary and other players, they're so much better at being able to adapt and go, we're going to go off the back instead of hitting that lead runner. The thing we were breaking down last week was Panthers are using players to come under, set up momentum, and then have Cleary come off the short side. So it's terrible for the Roosters' edges. They're going to get absolutely killed. Even if Cleary's not going to try assist, they're just going to get murdered because he's going to use that momentum to set them up and then just knock them down. Liam Martin should be in everyone's friggin' multi. Wow, I'm telling you that now. Sharp. Because, you look there, we've got 3 defenders in, and they just look lost in that middle. It's terrible shape all over the park, but they look lost. Cleary's just going to hit lead balls all day. He'll hit lead ball, and if they don't score a try, he'll head to the blind side, and he'll pick apart that edge.
Yeah, or even this isn't a betting show, but no. Isaiah Papali'i off the bench, if he just gets rotated out to the edge at some point.
As Ron has pointed out, it's value. It is absolute value. I mean, the middles are about a feast. If you for whatever reason have Liam Martin, I don't know why, but enjoy this weekend. This should be a great weekend for you. If you have Isaiah Yo, I mean, mate, just cuddle up, get some popcorn. You're gonna absolutely love it. And mate, it's so dangerous for Cleary because, like we said, Cleary's more of a field general now. He's taking on that first receiver and drifting across back and forth. This is the perfect game for him, especially playing as a first receiver, just to hit those line balls and pick up those easy try assists.
Yeah, or show and go himself, kind of like Yo did against Fanua Blake. Just mesmerize the defense with their infinite amount of variations they seem to have. A couple other things that caught my eye. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Cleary's off a halftime. They've got such a big lead.
Yeah, kind of like the Melbourne.
Yeah,
Melbourne
maybe
game.
A bit of Yo at 7.
Mate, just a couple other quick things. Retail T noted that there's a new combo on the south edges. We already looked at that Asako try down the right. Asako did score a double. One was off it was a bit of a chaotic play where the ball hit the deck and whatever. But then Plath went over on the other side, on the other edge. They were at 6s and 7s there. We've got a guy named Christian Tuipulotu who has gone 130. He scored a hat-trick in round 1. Plays South this week. I don't love the option of bringing him in right now.
Not this week.
Not for this week, but if you've already got him, you can get ready for another double because he's going over. He's another guy chucking your anytime list. Again, new combos, always head noise. That left side of Saints was so well spaced out. Everyone knew their role. Tuipulotu is a strong runner, admittedly, but He kind of just has to fall over the line there. Love him as an option going into round 4. They do play Melbourne, but he's most likely going to have a negative fuck all break even. And that means he's going to jump to 700 fairly quickly and can then be moved on to Elikatoa via a duel or something like that. So let's hope he goes over. Let's hope he goes big again this week. One other thing I'll note for you, Cheese. Savage out, Hopper in. Tamale's on the wing. Believe he's been confirmed to play on the left wing and hold that spot. Yeah. Are you happy to go a week early, or do you fear another Jacob Gagai situation?
No, I mean, you can just wait till next week. Like, he's not going to kill you points-wise. If he does kill you point-wise, I'd be very disappointed about Broncos' defense and Madra. I mean, we know how big he is on, not having players go around you, but having players go through you. And, hence why, Paddy's just such a great move to front row to beef up that edge defense. But, no, why? I don't know why you'd go that week early, unless you're trying to facilitate a move to Cleary and you need another cheapie. But, yeah, I mean, wait for a week. I mean, what's the harm going to do you? If he's named next week, you bring him in immediately. If he's not named and you've already got him, well, you've got to move stuff around probably, or just hope that, he gets a call up again.
I'm all in, baby. I'm all in.
Oh, no.
He's in. I've seen enough.
Are you bringing him in, or do you have him?
Yeah, I'm bringing him in. I'm putting the reserve on him. Mate. All in, baby. Let's go. Let's back the rook. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? It's round 2. Bring him. So I've made we can talk about trades if you want.
Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, if you want a real trade, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so just to zoom out, 2 guys I really, really want is Tino and Howarth. No question. Tino's a season-long hold. He's unders. Happy to get him in before his price goes up. And I've got Bully more there. It's only going to be about 100K move, by the looks. Yeah. So that's great. And then Howarth, a guy that we probably all have now in our team at some point in the preseason.
Yeah.
Cheese and I included. He was always that kind of guy. He's like, well, we know he's unders anyway, but now he's got a 90 odd in his rolling average. They do play Penrith, but then from round 4 onwards, it's a cakewalk for Melbourne. So happy to get him in before his price changes as well. In order to do that, I'm going to need a bit of cash. I love Seyfarth. I've led the Seyfarth propaganda train most of the preseason.
You have.
And he's still unders, man. He'll still pump 55, 60. He'll still make 100 odd K. It'll be a slow odd burn. But I believe, rightly or wrongly, that Tamale is also that guy who can pump 50s and he's 200K cheaper. So having that dual flexibility with your guy and my guy, Kane Bradley, allows that trade. I'll then most likely move Metcalf to Hubner next week, open a bit more cash, and then be able to bring Tino and Howarth in round 4, and then potentially also look at Skelton to Tuipulotu if that looks better, or even trade Marju out for his buy for Tuipulotu. And again, there's a lot of spreadsheets going on at the moment, guys. So sorry if I lost you there, but that's what we're thinking. Tamale in. Tamale, 20 runs, 3 offloads. Selwyn Cobbo, who's he?
No, look, you are as good as it was to see these CTWs just start well for once, which is absurd when you think about how shit it has been going big very early. It's kind of made it tough, especially with players like Marju and stuff who could pop out 140 on his day and things like that on who you go to. I had to get Cleary in. I had to get Cleary in, but if I sold Hines and he went for 100, I think I'd probably just sell my season ticket. I'd be that upset, eh? So I had to keep him up. So, yeah. Oh, mate, I'd burn it. But keep the politics out until the JFK episode in a few weeks. Look, so I got rid of Duffy. So I had 201K in the bank at the end of the round. So for me it was getting Clark down to Goz and just having that guy there base who, probably make some cash and can bridge to someone else. And then I've gone sort of similar. I've bought in Sheba over Tamale just because of the job security at the moment.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, just if Tamale's in next week, it's an easy swap from Purdue down to Tamale for me. I'd love that. But I'd just rather have Sheba there for a moment. I know he's going to make cash. I know he's going to, he's probably definitely got that spot there unless something crazy happens next week. And then, what was it actually?
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, mate.
You mentioned Tom Duffy. Seeing a lot of Duffy to Humphreys chat since lockouts over. Do you see that being a good trade? 100K for one rookie for another in a pretty poor team. Yeah, where do you stand on Duffy to Humphreys? I guess what I'm asking.
No, look, I think we spoke about it on your pod. It's like if you're trading this week, you want to get the guns in that you've gone. Maybe we can fade them. Maybe we don't have to staff them, and you've realized you need them. For me, like if you're going cheapy, mid-ranger to mid-ranger, most of the time they're never going to kill you on the points. So just wait that week. I mean, for all we know, Lewis or Dodd could turn into Nathan Cleary in New South Wales Cup, and Humphreys could have a Luke Brooks appearance, and that's changed next week. So yeah, look, if Humphreys is fair named next week and Duffy craps for bet again and just doesn't get anything going for his team, yeah, that's probably a move that's a decent to make. At least Humphreys has got the goal kicking, and he's got more than likely more attacking chances than Duffy because, look, if Duffy has another shit one, what's to say Clifford doesn't pop in next week?
How do you feel about Purdue's job security after what we saw on Saturday night, and then also after what we're going to see on Friday night, whatever the next game?
Friday. Is it Friday? I think so. But I didn't see enough for him for them to be like he's staying. I mean, Zach Labutt's just waiting in the wings pretty much. Like for me, it.
Put it this way,
go ahead.
They get towed up again. 40 put on them. They run 5 tries like Manly did down that edge because Duffy's too small. He's making not Duffy, Purdue. Well, probably throw Duffy in the conversation as well, but Purdue's making poor decisions. He's getting trampled over the top of. Teams are just hunting him as that 2-man, 3-man. Yeah. Does Peyton persist? I mean, we've already seen him swing the axe with Jeremiah and Nanai. Is Duffy? I mean, Freudian slip, obviously, with Duffy, but is Purdue going to be one of these cheapies that annoys a few people? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. Like if he goes out,
it's an easy move. Yeah. Like it's a real easy move sideways if you don't have a Sheba or Tamale or Toa. Like, I don't think many people would have been running one of them to start with in your seat 1 to 4. So you can likely just swap them out, but like. It's tough in thumpings, isn't it? Because most of the time, like with Duffy, for example, there wasn't much he could do. Like I don't expect him to come out and, we see with Cleary when his team's under the pump, he comes out and kicks a 40-20. DCE, kicks early, gets them turned around and chases early. Duffy, I don't expect that from him. I don't think anyone should really expect that from him. He's coming in and he's learning and it's going to take him time. So you've got that argument there for him. With Purdue, you really just go, for him, it's, mate, just defend and take runs. And he's not, he's not doing it well. Like, he's the one who gets the chopping for me straight away.
It feels that way, especially with the big bodies are going to be running down that edge this week. Just on the Cows, they play Sharks this week, then the Broncos next week. Then Canberra, which is at North Queensland. So, but Canberra is still, I think Canberra actually surprised a few teams.
That's an interesting game, to be honest. That'll be a good one.
And they play Penrith round 5, Souths and a bye.
I think a good question is: do you think Purdue's there come round 5? Because I don't. Like, I can't see them. Like, I see Sharks and I see Broncos really taking advantage of him come the next 2 weeks.
Oh mate, I don't see him there for the Broncos game. I think Nico just runs over the top of him. I think Nico 4 try assists. Any mail on Nico's kicking?
Yeah, not great mail. Like from what I've got, it's day to day. It's a groin and adductor injury. It's just if it feels good, it feels good. Like we know he's kicked off a warm up. We know he's been kicking. It's just does it feel like that's the thing. He could go into that game and go, great, I've kicked in warm up. I've kicked all week. It's good. Come the 15th minute, 16th minute, whenever a try comes from the Sharks, he could probably go, it's a bit tight, tricky. You take it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Plenty of practice.
If you're holding Nico for the kicking, or if you're looking at gaming him for the kicking, you need to readvise that and go, is he enough to have without that kicking? Because honestly, it's day to day. You don't know when it's coming back, and he could kick for the next 2 weeks, and then it feels tight again in 3 weeks' time, and you go, he's lost it again.
Mate, I reckon he's absolutely worth having without the kicking. I mean, we just saw Cherry Evans put on 120 down that exact same edge, and his 3 try assists a try.
Yeah, you think this is Nico's game to really come out and save that break even, probably.
Yeah, and get 61 touches, not 59, and then average.
We just need 60. We just need 60. One touch away, he was going big.
Question here from the Gibber. First mention of the Gibber is 45 minutes in today. Sorry we were so late, guys. This one comes from Reese, not to be confused with me, Reese. He says, getting in hot tamale for Geimer, and why shouldn't I captain him? Fire emoji, milk emoji. Thoughts?
Depends how much you like a hot tamale. I mean,
hot tamale. Sam's. I can't pronounce your surname, mate, but Sam, the greatest late male man in the industry. He says, "Hey boys, how are you, Sammy? If you could choose one fullback to trade Voldemort out of KP and Walshy, who would it be and why?" So we've seen Yongi, also known as Voldy, put on 69, nice, in a pumping. Looked great. I think the base power was 42 cheese, as we may have spoken about in the preseason. He's got that Edwards tutelage kind of mold, whatever. Looks good. Looks like he's going to make a bit of cash. The upside's still going to be there, it seems. Gun to your head, who goes, KP or Walsh, and why? I'm sorry. I'm assuming he means round 3 as well.
Yeah, look, I mean, I lean towards get rid of KP just because of that buy. I mean, they're both so similar with draws coming up and stuff. I mean, KP has a kicking, so that's obviously a big benefit. If Knights go big, he gets those added points, or he loses those added points. Depends how good he is that day for kicking. But I mean, when I look at Walsh, I mean, we said it. He looks very dangerous. He looks on. And Hunt's really unlocking him a lot. He's giving him that time and space. But when I look at KP, I just go, mate, he could just win this game on his own. Like he's next level for me. If he didn't have that round 4 bye there, he'd 100% be the keep for me.
Yeah, that's the answer. Like it's the round 4 bye.
Yeah.
But fucking hell, KP, he was. I think it was 80 in the end, but that could have easily been 130. He was one pass away. That combo of KPP on the right hand side looks absolutely violent.
It was only a try contribution as well, wasn't it? Like there wasn't really anything. Yeah, no try contribution either. No attacking, no scoring opportunity stat.
Viewers may remember last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, where we looked at that Newcastle attack and their structure when they're on that right tram line, and how we noticed that KP was the second receiver, and then we had Sharp as the sweeper. And we commented that, in that instance, that clip we watched, Sharp just burnt Chad, which isn't exactly hard to do. But we also said that, hey, if that center or someone shoots out at KP, he's either going to pivot back inside or he's got Lucas running a hole. And if I were to play this clip from this game on the weekend...
Please do. I think it's one of my favorite clips this weekend. Mainly because we got it right.
Yeah. So we go. The midfield at the moment. Yeah. You actually got Crossland at first receiver there. So Crossland and Brad spent a bit of time on the field together. KP first. Centre jams in. And then Dill Lucas, I just let the clip run just to show you he's got work there for a big man. Heath Mason, see you later. And then they score on the next try. But
mate, I mean, but that's what we talked about. We said you'd want The reason why this shape makes so much more sense is because you want KP to be able to have that, ability to get that quick ball away and make those decisions that Sharp probably doesn't have the IQ for compared to him. And yeah, I mean, look at Lucas, though. great ball by KP and IQ for it, but Lucas just makes it 100 times better.
He does. The IQ component is massive. He noticed that center absolutely flying in on him. And, KP's only 26, man. He's only getting better. Bloody hell. The NRL is so good, man.
What I'll say too is, though, it's probably not so much, SuperCoach relevant. It probably is actually regarding KP's availability. We see a lot of the time in years prior, he gets, and again, this is what we're talking about with spacing and giving the players extra space. So that way, if someone does shoot up and you slip, you're not getting concussed like we saw with Walsh in Origin.
Yep.
KP there, he jumps backwards and gets it away to make sure that contact's coming straight on chest. Like he'd rather get absolutely slammed in that chest than be out, obviously. But it's more IQ from that where he's really improved his game and gone, all right, cool. If I just step back on the tippy toes, I'll take the hit, but I know I'm not getting concussed. Where years prior, we was seeing him try to just keep going forward or duck. We see that a lot with KP in the past.
Yeah, ducking. He would do that a little bit, wouldn't he?
Yeah, because it's that union style that he had coming up. It's very get down low and get into that ruck position. Now we don't see it anymore. It's really a testament to how good he's becoming.
Unbelievable. Really excited by what that's going to look like with Brown there as well. I mean, you get your classic Facebook mouth breathers who are like, oh, yeah, fucking Brown, he's shit. He's overpaid, but he's the ultimate, square the guy up in the middle. It's great for what they're wanting, but it's a great deal on both parties. Like, Lord forbid Brown picks up an injury and his value goes down. He's got that security. If Brown stays healthy the whole time and keeps improving, then Knights have, come time the salary cap keeps going up, they've got a bargain of a half more than likely. We've seen it with, years coming Tamalolo. That worked out for the Cowboys in the sense that props now are way overpaid most of the time. Like, I think Hazelstone was asking for about 450 or 500. Yeah. Imagine what Lolo would have been asking for. Yeah, Dill Brown's only 24 as well. I think Fletcher Sharp's 20 and KP's 26. So that's an incredible nucleus. Yeah. And the hooker, you can kind of live with whoever that is, really. Just get it off the deck. Give it to those boys. But Matt Arthur's always been pretty well high for. Yeah, Crossing can do a job. And as I
he's going to be there for a while. Matt Arthur is a great young fellow probably coming up.
He is ACL this year, but,
just a couple other things.
Oh, yep, sure.
Go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
Maybe two more things on TLT.
Yep.
We already mentioned Duffy and Humphreys. Ronald Volkman. So he's starting again, as expected, to be fair. He's 214K. He scored 44 last week. They're saying that Moses is 6 weeks away. I call bullshit on that. Again, this is based on absolutely nothing. So he's probably going to play around 6. But foot injuries. Yeah. He's actually trained today. Foot injuries have always just been a weird one for me. Like, they're always like, oh yeah, no, he's just week to week at the moment. So Volkman, you're obviously not going to do it, but not tonight. But geez, if he goes big at 214K, there's an argument that he might be a better option than Humphreys and Duffy. Can't believe I just said that out loud, but someone to keep an eye on anyway. A couple other things that interest me. Josh Curran back on the bench. So you're going to have him and Satili Tupanua in the middle. Hayward rotating with Mann, which would probably mean that Salmon spells Preston. I know Preston fans and owners won't be stoked to hear that, but that's what it looks like to me, guys. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I'm in agreement with you. It's not a great rotation for Preston. He probably does get that stint off. He probably doesn't play 80, but again, it's a risk. If you're willing to take it, then you just hope it comes off.
Yeah, another guy who won't play 80 is David Fifi Fafita, who is on the bench this week. You got Cleese Haas starting along with Fermor and Tino in the back row. How good is that to see? I mean, that just means that no one's going to pick him up.
Man. Oh.
Yeah.
Look, Fafita 15 is... He's going to do Fafita things, isn't he? He's just going to come on. He'll play around. He'll go in dummy half. He'll score a try. And then everyone goes, oh, great. It's Fafita. It's like, we know what he does. It's one of those things. I mean, I'm probably not leaning towards Fafita.
Generally?
Not start with. I think we've just got for me the big ins for 2RF are Katoa and Ola. They're the ones I think you could really go after. And then you've got Tino there at a bargain price, and you could pretty much just run with them for quite a while. Like,
sorry to have a business meeting live on air, guys, but geez, do you reckon it'd be a good segment that we could like compare our top 3 in each position of who we're targeting going forward?
Yeah.
Like you've already mentioned Ellie and Hamole, which I'll agree. I had Hudson Young in the mix as well. Shout out to you, Hudson. One of my favorite players. Isaiah Yo. Fuck. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of more of a drafty kind of podcast, I guess, draft conversation, but that's something really important to keep tabs on, guys, for sure.
Yeah, it is. Like we always say, don't plan too far ahead. Things change and all that. But like, look, pain in the ass was a real pain in the ass if you didn't own him. Like, he was just like, I've got AFB there, and I'm still going, kind of want to just fit him, May, and AFB all together, because he's someone I'm going, he's going to be absolutely ferocious. Like, trade targets are good to have to know where you can save on. Like, if I want a Fafita, I'm probably having to give up someone at CTW. So, like, yeah, the value's there for Tino, Katoa, Ola, and then you've got the extra cash there for someone else.
Yeah, well, look, hopefully Fifi averages 50 for a month, and then he's a downgrade from Osaka or something.
Yeah. Oh God, that'd be good, eh?
Absolutely. Anything else on your mind here, Cheese? You want to jump into?
Not really regarding TLT. I mean, again, we saw Rail swing the axe, so that's tough. If you have parameters, could be interesting. Honestly, I'm just enjoying. I was really happy to see that Titans team list, and just Tino being back at 13.
Oh, I love that team.
I'm keen to see how many minutes he will play straight off the start. He did get that extra week of preseason, so extra week off. So be interesting what they do with him. Honestly, mate, I've never been so interested in Titans players for SuperCoach.
Yeah,
like I mean, Kinney's a big one for me, man. Like, if Kinney comes out firing. Like,
can I read you a couple of things on Keanu Kinney, Cheese, that might
go ahead.
Might keep you up tonight. All right, so Kinney's 20 years old, first and foremost. Okay, like just let that marinate a little bit. Only played 21 first grade games. He only really, like, I'd say, it's hard to quantify this, but like cemented the jersey. I believe in that it was a game against Broncos last year that I think the Titans pumped them. It was like a Sunday Arvo or something, and from that moment he was the one. But before that, they were chopping and changing with Campbell and whatever. So in the 11 games since that one, including that one, Keanu Kinney averaged 90 on that run. In those 11 games, 48 base power, 8 try assists, 5 tries, 11 line breaks, 11 line break assists. Power. Yep. And then he played 3 games for New Zealand, and I worked out he averaged, 80 to 85 across those 3 games. He's at 1.1 ownership. Cheese, are you interested?
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. I mean, are you interested? Are you interested right
absolutely.
now?
I was willing to start with him on the buy. I mean, like, I was willing to start. He was one guy, and again, I was very all off season. I was saying you don't start with, like, you want good players in your fullbacks to start with. Obviously, he was the one guy I was willing to forgo it for. Like, he's he's priced at 70, and like you said, 48 base, right? So really, you need one attacking stat from him a game to make that up, and he's going to be all over it this year. Like, I really do see him becoming their main focal point of attack, because you want to get him in that groove young.
Yeah, I just couldn't be more excited about. I mean, like, I'm fair dinkum. Like, as soon as Walsh goes up, I love Walsh, and I know we've waxed lyrical about Reece Walsh many times. I just like players who are involved. Walsh is, he cherry picks his moments, which is fine. It works for him. But fuck me, if I don't love a bloke who runs it for 300 meters a game and he's in everything, he just kind of keeps you engaged. Like, there he is again. Yeah, sweet. It was only a 1 point run.
The best of both worlds, man. Like, he brings out that Walsh, like, superstar. Like, I'm gonna do something out of nothing, and then you just go, how many runs has he taken today?
Yeah.
Like, oh, mate. Like,
I'll show you this clip. It's really exciting. This is from the Titans trial. One thing I'm really keen to see with the Titans this year, Cheese, as I'm sure you are, mate, is the three fullbacks on the field. In the sense you've got JC, Brimo, and obviously our boy Kenny here. So what you're going to find in this shape is Campbell first receiver, Brimson inside to Kenny, and it sets up the next play. I'll just let it play out. Hopefully you can see that all right. There's Kenny running in.
And he makes meters like nothing, man.
Yeah, Campbell one off the ruck. Backyard footy stuff. Dink. And then you're going to get Brimson flying through. Sorry about the resolution here, ladies and gentlemen. We might get another look at this one. Oh, okay. Campbell, Brimson inside. Look at Kenny. Look at his freaking feet, man. He gets tackled there,
he's so good at his lateral movement. Like, he picks up another 5 meters there by going sideways, and you wouldn't even think it.
And watch him. I mean, Brimson gets this. Look who's to his right there.
That's what I'm saying, though. But he's fit, man. Like, he's all over the park. Like, I don't think it'll be this year where we see, the potential of those three really realized together. But man, that's a very fun core coming up.
That's so exciting, man.
Like, I've never been a big Titans guy, but those three there just make me want to not miss a game of them.
Nah, bro. Like, vibes, Seabass, the sun's out. There's questionable characters in the stands who've had,
He's smart though, Kenny. He's smart though, Kenny. Like, he attacks Kafusi there and takes him out, especially on last tackle.
Oh, interesting. Well, why is that a smart idea?
Well, you just don't want pressure on your kickers. Like, who ends up as first marker? Who ends up as first marker there? Because Kafusi's left on the ground.
Gilbert's out of it as well.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Campbell just, Kafusi's on the ground, isn't he? Campbell just.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Kafusi is too, he's a better defender. You sent me that clip actually from Guru, was it? Regarding Cleary.
Yeah, how good was that?
That was very similar there. Like like Kenny could just easily, he probably steps again and he picks up another 2 to 3 meters. Instead, he just takes the tackle with Kafusi, takes him out of the play. And we saw that a lot last year too. He really likes taking it to the 13s. Like, it was something that you probably wouldn't think. Like, most fullbacks, they don't want to attack for 13s. They look to attack inside front rowers and second rowers, especially Pappy. Pappy's big on that. He loves those inside balls because they're slower and he's skinny. He's not skinny enough, but he's just quick enough to get through those gaps. Kenny doesn't do that. He just goes straight after the best defenders. He makes the meters and he's just smart, man. Like, he's probably not even thinking about what he's doing. It's just instinct for him.
Couple more comments from the Gibbers here. This one comes from George.
Wrap up.
George, our man in the know at Malabar, not Redfern, George. He says, just a heads up, don't think Myers will start centre. Myers and Bentley Hape wings with Tass centre. So I think that alludes to what we were saying before about the new combos on South Edges. Just never liked that, man. I never liked new combos from a defensive perspective, Like, you just want stability in those areas, so it'll be a great game for Tupoloto owners, that's for sure. This one comes from Dan Singh. How are you, Singh? He says, which 3 players are you watching out for the most this weekend? In brackets, not including Metcalf. Which 3 players are you watching out for the most this weekend, Chase?
Watching out as in possible trade targets or just in general, whether trade out, trade in?
I'll let you decide, mate.
All right, we'll go in general. Excluding Metcalf, I want to see Arthurs. I want to see how they utilize him against a better edge. Like, we saw the way they took advantage of the Roosters, but again, of what was it? He has the least amount of touches, we were saying, from all the backs, but the quality of them were better, obviously. So I want to see if that continues, because if he's only getting that 16 to 20 touches a game, they're not all going to be quality against better defensive teams. So that's something I really want to look out for. Gilbert is probably number 1 on my list.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, wow. Like if Gilbert and Safeluff, actually they go pair and pair for me, because if Gilbert comes out and he does exactly what he did last week, he's got that base and he looks safe, he looks good, it's a very easy swap for me, safe after Gilbert. Gilbert next week. Those are probably the two that I'm looking most at, where I just go, yep, in and out for each other. What about you, mate?
Oh, like keen to see if Shiba can do it again.
Yeah,
That'd
how
be
many
one.
decoys?
Yeah, Tuipulotu. The big one's Hubner for me. Like he 40 and 59 minutes last week. I think we were even talking about it in the green room actually. Like it probably like that PPM to me up more around that one, to be honest. Like I think I'm gonna bring him in for Metcalf next week anyway, just open up a bit of cashola, but like kind of worried about his long term. Although a little birdie has told me, Cheese, that Hubner, don't be surprised if there's an FRF duel in his future, given the fact that he was on the field at the same time as Tallis Duncan. Look into it, guys. Look into it.
Yeah, that was interesting. Both of them being on the field, actually.
Yeah, so one of them's getting a duel. Put it that way. So yeah, definitely Hubner. I'd love to see his work rate. Who else for me, mate? Tuipulotu. We've already kind of spoke about him. I'd love to bring him in come round 4. Yeah. So we're cheering him on as a non-owner. Stili Tupanua, he scored a double, admittedly, but I think his base power was 54. Jeez, in like 40 minutes.
I can't do it, but that's crazy.
It's unbelievable. You just have to shout him out, really.
Keep it up, son.
And the final one is Hamish Stewart of Dragons fame. I mean, there's a bit of noise that's really probably pleasing rugby league realm at the moment that David Clemmer is Wollongong bound. But if he's not, and that all works out, that Hamish Stewart ends up being in the rotation. He pumped out 40 and 42 or 42 and 42 last week. And again, we've got no one apart from Oren Keeley, obviously, that's viable in that cheapy FRF slot. So Hamish Stewart, another one they'll be watching out for in terms of
by the time we know more about Stewart, it'll be good with White as well. See what happens with him. Could be a nice downgrade.
Couple more.
Yeah, give us 2 more and we'll wrap it up.
Okay. This one comes from Miss Jane. How are you, Jane? She says, if you're running 3 gun fullbacks, and have plenty of cheapies that look like ripening, is it mad to skip Voldemort and downgrade to a Pappy or Kinney? So I'm guessing Miss Jane has Turbo, KP, and Drinky. No.
Yeah.
By the way, Drinky was on 0 after like 55 minutes the other night.
Hey, I've got him in draft. I couldn't be happy in that last 20 minutes. I was rewatching it today and I just went, no idea how it's happened.
I love that guy, man. Yeah. That was unbelievable. The draft season's been saved.
He turned back into trap water for a bit.
Let's go with the kicking as well. Did Duffy have a cork or something?
It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
did you? I haven't heard anything about him not like having something to cork or something like that. I only watch the highlights. I'll have to re-watch that, but like maybe not good signs. Like, I mean, before we know, Payne could have just been like, all right, this kid's probably on his way out, Drinky, kicking.
Oh, bloody hell.
Can you imagine, man?
Mate, you won't be here next week. Don't worry about taking that one. Give it a drinky. Give him a bit of practice.
He picked up the tee and got a message. Just walked back, head down, all sad. Nah, I have no idea. It'll be an interesting watch this week. Oh, hang on.
I'll tell you what. If you haven't watched
Rugby League realm to rescue, Duffy was limping when the second try happened.
Doesn't miss much, Realmy, does he?
No, he doesn't, mate. Eagle eyes.
Eyes and ears everywhere. So, yeah, Miss Jane, 3 gun fullbacks, plenty of cheapies. Are you going to skip Voldemort and just wait to chill on Paps or Kinney?
I think it depends what Lord Voldemort does this week, I think. Like, I mean, no one with Gibbers put in the graphs today regarding like what if he averages 65 or if he goes big. Like, I mean, he scored a 69 against Storm. Like, I thought he would go around that 60 mark. Like, I mean, you'd think they would have picked up one attacking stat and he'd be involved in it. So, look, if he goes big against the Tigers, I think you have to bring him in a sense because, yeah, look, I love Pappy, but I think that Panthers game probably knocks that break even down. Like, it's just good point. You'd have to wait. You have to see that Panthers game for sure. Yeah. But you can wait and see at least. Like, that's the best thing.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. You
Yeah.
can punt. Just on that Voldemort average and his price gain, if he averages 65, guys, over the next, just averages 65, then he will be 500K by round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After round 7, he'll be 500K, which is 6 games away. That's if he averages 65. If he averages, you know what? Let's just call it that. There's another one here. It's like, what if he averages 160? It's like, all right, mate.
Oh, no. Like, I mean, yeah, I think 65 to 70 is very, very possible for him.
Fucking oath is.
I mean, for base, I mean, like, yeah, look, I think if we said 85 to 90, we're getting very wishful. But look, 65 to 70 is very easy for him, I think.
It's kind of what we just spoke about with future GOAT, future immortal, Keanu Kinney, in the sense that, the base power is there. Just needs one attacking stat to, to a 70, man.
Yeah.
Final one here. So to answer your question, Miss Jane, probably just watch and see how those other two. I would not knock Kinney though. I would not knock Kinney. I'm going to move high water to get him in either way.
Yep.
Final one here comes from Keithy. How are you, Keith? He says, I know he's a 50 average halfback, but do you see any benefit of Adam Reynolds fame, as a second halfback? Now he has Hunt there. If he stays fit, Brock scored plenty of tries, and he's a gun kicker. Any interest in Adam Reynolds as a second halfback?
Look, I love the little field general, but I'm not touching him in SuperCoach, eh?
Yeah.
Like, no, just I think that's probably. I think we'll see better options probably around that price point. He'd have to go massive this week and have a really good break even for the next few weeks for me to be interested. Like it's not worth it. Like honestly, if you're going Reynolds, depending what happens with Nico and the kicking today and how you this week and how you feel, just find 200K. Unless you're using Reynolds as a bridge, I'm not big on him. With yourself?
Yeah, +1.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Cheese, like I'm interested in anyone that is going to make me money at this stage of the season. So
look, if they're going to make money, they're in.
Like, I mean, we already spoke about. I've even got played Jason Saab in my spreadsheet here, even Xavier Savage.
Mate, no, I love the Saabi pick mainly because of our flex. Like, just that flex makes people like Saab more interesting. Yeah, like, mate, give me Alex Johnston back midway through the season with Trell at 300K and just. Oh, mate. 10? Mate, who cares? Flex.
That flex thing, just looking at it a couple of times recently, I think we're going to it's going to be fun this year, put it this way. I'd like bringing in random cunts, excuse my French, random guys, just in on a whim, just give them a 2-week run, see if they can just pump a bit of money.
Mate, it's going to be fun I think from week 7. Probably when we see the cashies maybe die down and we get the rare ones come in and the injuries happen. Because right now it's fullbacks, as it probably will be throughout the season. Origin period will be interesting because, how many fullbacks are you going to have? There will be playing Turbo, plays center, Troll plays center, Walsh is in, KP's in. So you kind of probably move off there. But yeah, it'll be fun to see the different ways you can use it in the coming weeks when it's not so, probably general consensus.
I agree, mate. Big year ahead. Long season ahead. And again, look, if there's anyone listening to this who's upset with their round 1 score, you should be because you suck. Nah. It's all good. Listen, just chill. Just chill.
Mate, I think my round, I got, round 1 ranked last year? It was about 8,000. And the next 2 rounds, I had an absolute shitter and got down to 75K.
Yeah.
And then, just got back up to the top 2K throughout the year. Like, it's just... It happens. You might have a great round 1, you might have a terrible one, and really, honestly, the only thing that matters about round 1 is probably the best chance you've got winning that weekly 2K. Like, I mean, it's probably the best chance you got winning that weekly 2K if you don't have a sniper team, which we don't encourage at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
My missus team is going good there.
I actually had a sniper team in year 10, and I came second once, and I remember being in the classroom and it popping up. And then nearly flipped the desk out of just like sheer. I don't think back then there was like game day and all that kind of stuff. You had to find out on the day. Yeah. And me and my mates crowded on a laptop. We're like, oh shit. And I'm like, what's going on? It's like, man, it's a sniper team, sir. What do you reckon?
It's a sniper team.
Like,
Man, probably thought you were talking about Call of Duty. But look, Reese, as always, thank you for being here. Before we head off, top player this week, who is it? And what are they scoring? Sorry, let me rephrase that. What's Cleary scoring this week?
Well, I was going to give you Marjorie 130, but if we want to talk Cleary...
Oh, okay. I like that. You were big ups on him for VC.
Yeah. Oh, mate, listen, I'm an idiot. I love a vibey, like, captaincy, vice-captaincy, given my Terrell May selection last weekend.
Yeah.
I'm having a cup of coffee with Marjorie, guys. I'm having a cup of coffee with it. But, yeah, in all seriousness, Turbo, Cleary, you'd be silly not to. I'd say Cleary 118. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, I'm thinking 120, 125. I think he probably gets the early shower before he can really go insane.
Where his points come?
Lead runs and early kicks. I imagine we'll see a try to Martin, and then we'll probably see 2 kicks off grubbers for centers. Like that's the way I see it happening, and just picking them apart for fun. I don't really see too much going out wide.
No, he can take on Chad. He can take on Sandon. He's a good runner of the ball. It's almost like he's a complete player.
Yeah, exactly. And again, they like the momentum. They like turning in. They probably go right side of Targo, turn him back in. Teddy stuck on the right. Cleary gets 2 passes, grubbers through our position. It's going to be a pretty fun one to break down next week.
Yeah, it'll be absolute mind games through his defense. They'll be looking around like they're trying to find their dog at the park. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, thank you, brother, for joining me again tonight. Hope you have a wonderful week. How good, mate. Footy's back and F1 starts on Friday. It is an absolute dream. Yeah.
Big weekend for you, mate.
Oh, mate, big weekend. I have to call in sick for next week. So thank you all for joining us tonight. If you think you have the cash cow phrase, click the link in the description, join the Discord, put it down in general chat, and take home $50. That could treat you to that gets you a really nice meal at GYG.
Yeah, well, put it in the pokies and, either starve or eat even more meals.
Yeah, I mean, hey, noodles is always a decent shout. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. Yeah, thank you all for joining us. Reese, may the odds forever being your favorite, my friend. We'll see you all next week.
Cheers. See you later, guys.